So, the overall reputation of Pokemon as a franchise is really not the best anymore. Whether it be the absolute dogshit release that was Skull and Violet, and no matter how much you like the game, you have to accept that the quality is shit. Whether it be the handling of the updates of Skull and Violet, as they currently come out once per 2 months if we're lucky. Whether it be the handling of Pokemon Home and its integration towards Skull and Violet, which the official Twitter account has massively messed up.
Bruh.
How shit do you have to be in order for that to be a mistake? Or whether or not it be Niantic and them absolutely being incompetent towards handling a community that is simply too large. Too large for them to handle properly. Sorry if that was a mic bonk. I could also talk about how Pokemon Unite is absolutely imbalanced, and Zacian is one of the biggest complaints people have had since release Lucario, or the mega buffed Absol. But it's Tencent. There is really nothing that you should expect from them in terms of balancing. Anyway, let's get into it. I love Pokemon. Still, despite Generation 9 being the worst example of modern gaming. If I wouldn't love these games, I wouldn't have the original copies of Red and Yellow still here with me. I would have gotten rid of them if I hated Pokemon that much. But these are keepsakes, these are memories. So I'm keeping them with me because I love Pokemon still. And that is why I'm voicing complaints in the first place. Because I want Pokemon to be better than what it currently is. I can't get these. Anyway. Let's move on to a more recent thing that's really pissing off every single consumer that is playing Skull and Violet. The home integration that's going to bring connectivity to Skull and Violet has been announced for the 24th on Twitter, and then I think 24 hours later they have corrected it, saying that they put the cart behind the Mudsdale or something behind. They basically jumped the Sharpedo here to keep in line with the Pokemon puns, and they have announced that they don't have an announcement date for yet. I want you to understand one thing. Pokemon is a large franchise. It's the highest grossing media franchise in the world, and I know people are sick of hearing this point, but it bears repeating, considering that this is something that you can literally double check in 5 seconds. The guy tweeting out could have literally said, there's 24 here. Am I supposed to post 24 on Twitter? Then he gets a yes or no, and if it's a no, there's at least some form of quality control that's trying to bring out correct information. The highest grossing media franchise has a PR team that is incapable of bringing out the correct date for release of something like Pokemon Home connectivity towards their biggest hit game, sadly with the sales numbers it still bears repeating as well, of the past year. I want you to understand that literally every single one of you at home, literally every single Pokemon fan in the entire world could have had a better quality control regarding the release date of the home integration for Skull and Violet. And yes, I mean that seriously. I swear to God, even a goddamn 6-year-old could have thought about this more than whoever posted that piece of shit tweet. It's the same thing that was talked about when it came to Nuzlocke. I made a video about that as well, with the whole Nuzlocke drama that happened last year. I made a video about that, and it just bears repeating. There is no proper communication regarding anything Pokemon. And no matter any further announcements, I'm just gonna throw out allegedly in front of it because I cannot trust the official source anymore. And that is the biggest break of trust that I see currently in Pokemon. We cannot trust official sources anymore. Anyway, last thing, and I didn't want to bring up Niantic this early yet again. But holy goddamn fucking shit. They literally said they weren't going to... They literally said... I'm stuttering. They literally said that they were not going to address Heroes Niantic and instead told their gullible consumers that they should get hyped for the rest of what 2023 has in store because they think the features are really cool. So they put out an infographic that literally every single Photoshop newbie can do better.
Look at the top of his head.
That's really embarrassing. They brought out Shadow Pokemon, which I haven't heard much about how well those are running. And there's a Shadow Mewtwo event, I think, on this weekend. If you're watching this on release, of course. So that could be interesting to see how well that works. They brought out a Master Ball, which, to my knowledge at least, has at least a few instances of reports regarding that when you use it, there's an error message that the item cannot be found. Whether that is related to the Master Ball or any form of berry in combination, I cannot actually confirm. I'm gonna be fair here. It could be because of a berry, I don't know. But largely, the Master Ball seems to be working fine so far. And whether or not future features are gonna be worth exploring, considering the track record of things like Regidragon, Regieleki being complete fumbles. And their TOS change regarding things like GoFest, where they could literally say 24 hours before the event starts, nah, we're canceling because we don't like you, and you couldn't get your money back. Which is, if you think about it, really disgusting. I'm really not sure how hyped Pokemon Go players really should get regarding all this. And look, if there were happy thoughts to be had about Pokemon right now, I would love to share them. I really would. But it's just so much negativity and so much just flat out incompetence from properties that are strictly Pokemon related. Of course, one of those entities is Niantic, and Niantic just basically took Pokemon as a big, corporate intrigue boost of their own brand, to their own brand, sorry. And, if Pokemon were to die off for Niantic, so would the entire brand. So Niantic really does it for self-preservation at this point. So I can't put the entire blame on TPCI. It just bears repeating. There's so much going wrong. Sometimes I wonder how long I can stay a Pokemon fan until I literally just turn my back on the franchise. Probably here's my turning away from Pokemon point. If they actually manage to mess up the Gen 5 remakes, the only shining beacon that they can bring out for the future of the franchise, if they mess up the Gen 5 remakes, I'm done with Pokemon for the rest of my life. There's no saving after that. They have the literal best story in the franchise. You know what? Put Black and White and Black 2 and White 2 together and give us every single post-game feature just in general, all in one package. That's literally the only remedy that I see that Pokemon can bring out. Give us things like the what's it called? The studio, the film studio. Give us that side content. Give us the Pokemon World Tournament stage. The only remedy that I see for the franchise going forward, if the Gen 5 games being absolute masterpieces, even more so than the original version of the Gen 5 games. That's the only remedy that I see. Nothing else, I think, can save the terrible position that Pokemon has put itself. Let's not get this wrong, by the way. Corporate greed has put Pokemon in the position it is in right now. Let's not get this twisted. Let's not get this me. Haha, funny joke. And you know what? Hey, Game Freak. If you make announcements that you're gonna make the next game as polished as possible, I'm not gonna believe you until I see proof. Because the proof is available to each and every one of us right now. That you just didn't fucking care enough about us as consumers, as players, as the ones buying your products. And whether or not you dislike the fact that I stated facts, I really don't care. What's your opinion about Pokemon in general? If you want to have a civilized discussion with me in the comment section down below, by all means, we can talk about things. And if you have any other things regarding the Pokemon franchise that maybe you would have liked me to mention in this, but I missed them, hopefully not post the 25th of May, because that would be cheating. Now, I am fully aware that this will probably not go over as well for a couple of people. Considering that complainer style videos like these usually don't go over as well. Not in terms of likes or dislikes, but in terms of people not wanting to watch because the topic is not cheerful. And I can understand that. However, I think with a franchise that is as successful as Pokemon, it needs to be brought to the forefront more and more and more where all of these fumbles lie, and that there really shouldn't be acceptance for them. If you want to accept them, that's still your personal thing that you have to deal with. I've spoken about this in past videos as well, so I hope I don't have to repeat myself about this. So with all that being said, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your time zone. And I'm Twisty, or Marco, depending on your preference. And I'm out. Peace.